This is an ISE special. My name is Tim Albright. I am your host. What we're doing is we are previewing Integrated Systems Europe 2019. Comes your way February 5th through the 8th in beautiful Amsterdam. With us today to kick this off is Managing Director of ISE, Mr. Mike Blackman. Welcome, sir.
Hello, Tim. Glad to be here again.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it. And thank you for having us again in beautiful Amsterdam at the RAI. As you have for the last couple of years, you guys are adding temporary structures. You're adding more halls to the show floor. But I want to kick this off actually with what's going to happen kind of first in the week, and we'll roll through some of the new stuff you're doing. You've had a keynote every year right before the show starts. It happens on Monday, this year Monday, 4th. And this year is kind of interesting. You're having Ambarish Mitra talking about AV being transformed by both AR and AI. Why did you feel that this was the year to have somebody like this?
Do you know, we're always trying to be inspirational. I always think my goal with the keynotes is that people should walk away and say, wow, is that where we're going? Or, yeah, I agree with that, or I disagree with it, whatever. But, we want to inspire people to show that this is an exciting business to be in. So we're always looking. I try with my team, we look for people. We could get a Bill Clinton or someone like that, and it's a great speaker, etc. But I've always said we should try to make sure that when we bring in keynotes, they should talk about what we as an industry are involved in. We had Daniel Lamar in the past,
yep,
who talked about how Cirque du Soleil uses AV in their stage presentations. We had last year, mental blank, my architect from Italy. Help me, Tim.
Well, his name went on my head too, but he was talking about smart buildings and smart.
Exactly. Yeah. And so, we really try to do things like that. So, looking around, we saw Ambarish Mitra and what he was talking about, saw a couple of things on YouTube and said, wow, this guy's talking about where this industry is going, where we are and where we're moving forward to. So we felt it would be quite exciting to have someone like that who's being disruptive in what they're showing. So Ambarish Mitra, he's the CEO of Blipper, and I think they're really showing a lot of new stuff there. So that should be interesting. But that's not the only keynote.
Yes.
This year we've gone back for the second one as well. We have Tupac Martyr. We met Tupac about a year ago through our involvement with the VR Days, and this is a really interesting creative guy. His company is Satora Studio, and they do stage design. So he's done Beyonce, he's done a lot of big stars, he does a lot of fashion shows. People bring him to actually make their stages say, wow, and he does that with AV. So for the live events market, this is really phenomenal. We're showing someone who's actually using the technology to create stories and images. But he's really into VR as well. He's an extremely creative guy. And one of the things he said to us is, you know what? I want to do something really different. I want to use some of the technology that's being demonstrated and presented at ISE in the keynote. So we're waiting to see what he's going to do.
Yeah.
I believe it's going to be quite exciting. He's quite an interesting guy. He doesn't stand still. I think if we move around as much as he does during the keynote, we've done our exercise for the week. So I think, again, that should be something quite exciting as well.
But isn't Tupac also the gentleman who is responsible for the studios that are being put into the W hotels?
I believe so, and he's also been doing a lot of advertising things for Johnny Walker. And I mean, I read a lot of his stuff, and some of I missed. And he's involved in a lot of stuff. He's a great guy to talk with. Actually, the first time when I heard the name, I thought, oh, this sounds like a black rapper. But he's actually half Mexican and speaks with a very, very English accent.
Oh, very cool. He'll be a good one to see as well. Almost every year, at least since we've been going and paying attention to this, you guys add something new, right? You add some sort of experience, you add some sort of of show or a show within a show type thing. So what are 2 or 3 things this year that are brand new to ISE that you want people to kind of hone in on?
Well, there are a couple of things which I'd like to tell you about, but they're not absolutely confirmed yet. I'm one of these people, I hate to say something, and then everyone says, well, you promised us that, and it didn't happen. So give me another couple of days. I'll probably come back to you and give you some even more exciting news. But
Okay.
meanwhile, we've added another pavilion. The RAI is expanding. So if you know Hall 5, so if you were standing in front of the RAI looking at the building on the east side of the building, so to the right, is Hall 5, and the space next to it was always used for storage and parking. And the RAI is going to extend that in 2020 to be a real building. We need it this year, so they did the foundations already, and we're going to put a temporary pavilion on it to extend and give some more space for the demand we had. And in 2020, that will be larger and part of Hall 5. So Hall 5 will be even wider than it was before, so giving some additional space. The other thing is we in the past had these theatres all around the show floor, covering different sectors. And there's always been the problem in actually trying, some people say, well, I'd like to be in the UC theatre, but I also want to see what's going on in the smart building theatre. So we decided to actually consolidate all the theatres and put them into one place. So that's going to be in the middle of Hall 8, and it's a bit larger, and we're going to run a full program through there, working with AV Magazine, with Avixa, with Cedia, to present free to attend short sessions that are really telling and explaining about the technology and new ideas that are coming on there. And we've got a couple of I think we've managed to line up some good speakers. Again, a couple of those I can't tell you about yet because we haven't got it on the dotted line, but I think it will be exciting. There's some good names in there. And again, those are free to attend, and that's new.
Well, the one thing I can tell you, one speaker is me. We're doing a session with AV Magazine Friday at 2:00. We're doing AV network security between 2 and 3 o'clock. So we've got a number of really great folks. So, but yeah, it's an exciting thing. It's in the middle of Hall 8. It's called the main stage.
Correct.
So, you guys, you mentioned the RAI expanding, and you guys are always kind of adding things. When somebody walks into one of these several entrances, and there are several different ways to get in and out of the RAI, what do you think that they should? I'm not going to ask you which booth to go to because that's just unfair. But if it's your first time at ISE, what's something that they should just prepare themselves for, or how do they get their bearings? I guess is the best way to ask this.
The first thing I recommend to everybody is go to our website. Okay. ISE is a huge show. We extended the 4 days, and even with 4 days, there's not enough time to get around the whole event. So what we've done is we've got some focus areas where we've tried to actually get technology to be a little bit focused. If I go back 16 years, when we started the show, it was quite small, and we mixed everything up. And it was good because it actually made people discover things they might not have looked for. The trouble now is that we're too large and people don't have the time to look at everything. So we try to create some of the technology areas. So we have at the moment 6 dedicated areas, zones. We have audio and live events, and that's in Hall 7. We have digital signage, that's in digital signage and digital out of home, so that's in Halls 8 and 12. I have to remember the numbers because they changed around. We have education technology, that's in 13. We have residential solutions, which is in Hall 1, part of Hall 1, and Hall 5 and 4. And smart building, which is in Hall 10. I believe I got that all right, on 9. Anyway, we have it marked on the floor plan. You can see it all there. So if those are your focused areas and the ones you particularly want to see first, go there first. But what you'll find is we don't have everything. There are a lot of manufacturers who do multiple disciplines and are placed on the show floor. So we have guides where you can actually look on the website and say, this is what I'm interested in, where are the exhibitors? And you'll get a list and be able to see which areas to go to. That's my first recommendation. Inform yourself, plan your visit. If you're coming with a group and you really want to see a lot of things, my recommendation is split up. Some of you go and do one section, some do the other section, come back together at the end, before the end of the day, and talk with each other and say and tell what was the highlight that you saw, and take everybody back there to show it. It was so good. And that's one way to be economic with your visit to ISE.
Oh, very good. Yeah, I would. The one thing that you've done a really good job is those sections and those areas. If you listen to what Mike was saying, you have smart buildings, you have residential, you have live staging. These are all the segments, different segments of the AV industry. So if that's what you're interested in and that's what your vertical serves, then yes, go there, absolutely. But on the way, there are absolutely other halls you can kind of get yourself into.
Yeah, so there's a lot there, and we also have when you arrive at ISE, take the show guide. It's very difficult to navigate the RAI. It's a little bit of a maze. I know it like the back of my hand. I wonder why people get lost, but I spend a lot of time there, so I should know it. But I realize if you come for the first time and you're trying to navigate, it's not so easy. It's like going to a foreign city for the first time and trying to get around without your Google Maps or a map of any sort, and try to find your way from A to B. You need the maps. It's the best way to find where you're going and try and get the most efficient way of getting around. So, inform yourself. We have some professional development guides which are printed as well, so you can look at some of those technology areas, and we've actually highlighted some of the areas, some of the exhibitors who are covering those sectors that are worth a visit. We will talk about any key press releases, product launches in the show daily that comes out every day, where you can actually look and find out what were the highlights of the previous day that I might have missed and want to go back and have a look. And again, also the center stage in Hall 8, where you can get informed, you can sit down and get a bit of an overview of that market. And it's, again, look online, you'll see what's going on each day at what time, and decide if network security is one of your key factors. Then go and listen to Tim. But again, inform yourself beforehand, find out what's on, find out who's there, and prioritize who we want to see, but leave some time to have a wander and discover those things you might not have thought about.
Yeah, absolutely. Just kind of wandering around, on the second or third day is not a bad idea.
Yeah.
I've asked you this before, and I the reason I still ask it is, obviously our biggest audience is in the U.S., but your U.S. audience is growing every single year.
Yes,
the percentage of people, the percentage of attendees there that come from North America, both Canada and the U.S. But if I'm sitting here and listening to you and watching you, why should somebody go to ISE?
From the US?
From just in general, but yes, from the US.
Okay. I used to wonder that as well, because we have two great shows in the US, Infocom in June, and CEDIA, so covering residential and commercial sectors. And it always puzzled me, why do people come to ISE from North America? And last year, I bumped into a couple of integrators on the show floor, and we got chatting, and they were from, I can't remember which city they were from. And I actually posed the question, I said, why do you come to ISE and they were in the commercial sector, when we have such a good show with Infocom? And they said to me, oh, we go to Infocom as well, but we need to keep ahead of the market. And this market is changing so rapidly. If we want to be ahead of the curve, we need to attend both shows. So that's one of the reasons. If you want to know what's going on, we are in a very fortunate position that we get hundreds of product launches at ISE. So you'll see the new things that are coming out. And, if you want to, we're not changing just once a year or once every couple of years. It's changing every few months. There are new things coming out. And you'll see them by attending all the shows. If you're in Central Europe, or if you're in Europe in general, ISE is the place to be. We are the de facto, we are the show for Europe. We're also the largest AV and electronic systems show in the world in terms of attendance, size of show, etc., etc. So you get a real cross-section. We are the only show that covers both residential and commercial solutions. So, if you're in both markets, here you can see everything under one roof.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's one of the fascinating things to me is being able to walk through, let's pick on Hall 7, the audio pavilion. You're going to see great stadium audio, great big ginormous cabinets. Right next door, in the very next stand, you're going to see some of the most beautiful speakers in the world that are designed and intended to be in someone's home. And so, yeah, it's a great intersection of commercial and residential. So, Mr. Blackman, I appreciate your time. How do people find out more about Integrated Systems Europe if they are so inclined?
So the best place to keep informed is you go to www.iseurope.org. So ISEUROPE.org. And we have everything up to date. You'll find the programs. You'll find the host of conferences. We've got a couple of new ones this year as well. We have digital cinema. So if you're in the theater market, the commercial theater market, you can get informed. Listen to some of the leaders in that sector. We have the hotel technology conference, so if you're in the hospitality sector, again, this is something you can get informed, listen to people from the hospitality sector and the AV sector talking about the technology that makes hotels work. We have Agora, which is a new conference for the stadium market. And a host of others, our traditional digital signage conference. We're repeating the Exile Summit, covering both augmented and virtual reality. So quite a lot. You'll find it all on our website. You can you can register there to attend the show and keep up to date. You can find hotel. We have the official hotel website is on our website as well. Please use that one. Be wary of emails you might get from unauthorized agencies. Some of them are legit in terms of being proper agencies, but they're not authorized by us. And some of them may scam you. So just be wary. We try to make sure we keep prices down. We negotiate long-term with Amsterdam to keep its hotel prices reasonable, and you'll get those via our website.
All right. I would also add, if you are going, once you've registered, download the app because it still is one of the best apps.
Okay, that's one of the other cool parts as well.
Yeah, it's a great interactive app, and it's got a lot of information. So if you are going, download that as well. So iseurope.org. So check them out. Mike Blackman, thank you so much. For more information about us or to follow along as we head to Amsterdam and to ISE 2019, go by the website avnation.tv. That's avnation.tv.